Hello and welcome back. Oh, is my volume quieter than it used to be? Let me turn that up a bit. Maybe now, maybe now. Maybe this isn't affecting anything. I don't know. I've maxed it out. Okay. So, what am I doing? Okay, that's more like how it should be. Sort of. I don't know. Whatever. You be you. 2 viewers already? Whoa. Alright. What the heck am I doing? I've not set up anything at all. Oh, Blender's not even open. Huh. Okay, what was I up to? All my dental work should be done now. That's what I've been doing. Nope. Move, install. Enable. Okay. So that was me messing around trying to get a thing to show a person. Disabled everything. Okay. Nope. I think that's all I should have to change. No. Uh-oh. If I didn't delete stuff, meaning to undelete it, but then I turned it off. Okay. So it's not spun around. I remember messing around for ages trying to figure out where exactly it did that, because I was trying to make a curve that was more detailed to show a guy. Trying to get help on how to create the curve with just math rather than doing this junk. Oh no. Ah no. Both the mesh tops. I don't believe I messed with anything there. By the looks of it, I should have just commented things out. I had the feeling that's just supposed to have an extra rotation added to it. But what was the rotation? Okay, again. No, the curve is just wrong. isn't it? I feel like the curve is wrong. I mean, maybe it's not. Hard to tell. Oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no. What do I do? How do I get it back? I mean, I want to assume that it's the, that's already there. The backslash is probably what's making it look more off, but I think that should just be set to 0. It would be this, I think. Didn't do anything. Why does that not do anything? I believe that should be a rotation, right? Oh no. There's other problems with it too, though. It sucks. Yeah, that was the only thing that was commented out. Literally no different. Okay, something more must be going on here for these to not be doing anything. Oh, it's not being used. I feel like that should not be the solution, but whatever. No. Because you use loc, you don't use aloc. It seems unlikely that I would have put an A there. Huh. I guess I went to do the comment thing, but I just did an A instead. Perhaps. Okay, let's just assume that's fine. Anyway, that's where I'm up to with this thing. So, Yeah, I got the bevel edge on it, and I think I did a lot of other things since last time, I don't know. Yeah, that's how far I am now. If I had the UI thing, I could adjust the bevel edge, but it's got problems which require me to have the UI thing there. Something's not being taken into account with this thing, which maybe was just that, and I had some other arbitrary way of doing the same thing. Oh no? Well, let's find out. How about how I created things so I don't have to do a thing, but then I have to do the thing constantly anyway? Less so, but still requiring. Don't have to do that every time. Yeah, so if I mess with the pitch radius, yeah, that goes a little bit wobbly. So that is really not right. Depth doesn't do anything, bevel doesn't do anything, twist doesn't do anything. Bevel is the bevel edge, which should be okay on the top, but this bottom half's not create. That's a little bit further away than it should be at some point. But it looks like it's closer here. That should be the same distance as there and the same distance as there. There's just everything between is not quite right. I mean, that, other than that, basically. Yeah. This is how things work. Addendum and dedendum should just be the same thing. You can have them as separate variables, but, you know, the amount you're going to be cutting in is the amount you're going to be cutting out, sort of thing. I don't know why those would ever not be the same variable. Yeah, and then we've got the backslash. That works as much as it can, you know. It does go negative, but whatever, and clearance is supposedly okay? Oh yeah, it should be 80 away. So that should basically be 0. Eh, whatever. Is that extra clearance? No, I've got bevel. That's why that was further. Okay. So if I have a bevel of 5, then the clearance of 75 would be 0. Or not? Or maybe it is? I don't know. Who knows? Who cares? Whatever. The problem is when I make that bigger, it doesn't go right. Because that is a relatively important thing to be doing. And it definitely wasn't looking like that on the old one. So, what is not being accounted for on the top teeth? Maybe it has something to do with the pitch? The addendum dedendum sort of thing? Can I assign in here? I mean, I feel like I should just get rid of dedendum. And just use addendum. But then there are things using the dedendum, which I suppose I could just say stop using dedendum. No, it's already in the things. Yep. That should work fine, I presume to assume. And I shouldn't get the option for it anymore. Next is... I very much doubt that was the problem. That should have nothing to do with anything. So yeah, what I was seeing is there was something wrong with the mesh top. Perhaps whatever's going on with this thing. So that should be the thing with the two circles across like that. Like that. So we have negative self-pitch radius. Okay. The self-addendum negative. Minus. But minusing a negative is adding? I always get confused with that. So self-pitch, let's go for that. Self-pitch radius plus self-pitch radius plus location 0. Wait, what is even this for? Nothing. Oh, I'm getting the rotation. Oh, okay. So that's a rotational offset thing. For the first initial point, I guess. Alright, so yeah, self-pitch radius, location. Okay, so self-pitch radius negative would be over here. Oh, that one. Minus self-addendum. I'm assuming that's just nudging it over further. To 0, and then negative SBD. Don't remember what the S was for. Bottom divide, or something like that. So how many slices is in this thing, or how many degrees it rotates for each individual slice, times self details. Okay, so this is the bottom, so this is offsetting it. So I'd have the bottom profile, and this is offsetting this first one to the bottom piece, but it's over on the negative side for some reason. Yep. And then we have what we're offsetting to the positive thing. So we've done our first half, so now we're doing the rest of the curve, starting from the bottom of the whatever, or from the last part of the bottom piece. Okay. So that's what we're rotating by. So we've got a point that's at this location. We are rotating it by that amount. R comes in over here. Okay. The self-pitch radius. Oh, okay. So that's basically the last part of, the last part of the bottom half. So I can offset to be at the same location as that. So this is doing that same part twice. So self-addendum. Okay. Yeah. So we got the bottom half of the curve, so we're up to that part. This has two vertices at that location now, where its final place is when it's all done. I still don't understand why that's a negative. I can only assume it's this rotation. So rather than rotating it around an origin over here, I'm rotating the same origin just over this side. So I'm rotating it up, and then voting across and rotating it up. Or whichever direction is, because we plus on this location. Yeah. This one's self-pitch radius plus self-pitch radius. Yeah, so this one would be that to that. And then we're plussing on this location, which is all the way over the negative, so that would be moving it back over to here. Sure. I do not remember programming it to be like this, but okay. And then we minus that thing's rotation. Why do we minus that thing's rotation again? I mean, why do we... Okay. I don't think that's going to be the problem, but you never know. I don't see why it would. It would have to be doing... I mean, it's this thing growing which is causing the problem. Oh, I see what it is. Because I haven't taken into account the other number. PR2. It's not self-pitch radius, it's PR2's pitch. Like, the second gear's pitch radius. I think. Okay, so which one is which gear? Because one is supposed to be the one you're creating, the other one is the template one, which is using to cut it into it, which is usually by a default of 1. Only time that ever changes is when you do the 90-degree angle gears. So one of these is that. I would assume it to be this one. Although I still don't feel like that's entirely right. But yeah, it would be plusing one and then plusing the other one's thing. I just don't see quite how that would be causing the problem it's causing. I mean, having it the way I think it is now should be causing that problem, not the other way around. And that's just doing the scaly thingy, which is off. Oh, not equal to okay. Okay, now this is the annoying part. Okay, great, got the properties. That's made it worse. And the question is, why does it work on the bottom part, not the top part? Okay. I mean, it should be literally the same thing, just that extra part on the end of this. Is it because of that? That becomes that. Damn it. Interesting. What exactly am I seeing there? Okay. Is that by chance backwards? I don't think that should be doing anything extra. It should work without it. No. Why is that offset up here? Okay. It's not supposed to be an integer. Although it can be. Probably should be. Yeah, it's very confusing. Why does it say this one? Okay, because I'm not changing the other one's thing, I am just changing the size of this gear. Oh, it's because I'm not changing the other one's. Okay. So maybe... I mean, it shouldn't matter if it's this first one or second one, because it's just adding, it's just times 2. Shouldn't even need brackets. But yeah, so it should be that one that's doing this, but maybe it's this one? That's all I can think here. I really do not understand this. What the heck? This makes no sense whatsoever. How does everything work until this point? Although I suppose I'm only assuming everything's working. I've never actually tested it. Okay, so if that's at a 1, does this actually work? That goes... No, it should be there. Yeah. Weird how it's... Oh, because it's got depth. Okay. Oh. Okay. We should have added a few more points to it. No, that seems to be flowing fine. That seems absolutely perfect to me. I suppose that button doesn't do what I thought it just did. Ow. Oh boy! Whatever. Paranoid thoughts. With the rotation. Yes, that seems to be perfectly fine. Okay. And I could have literally just duplicated the one I already got down there. But, you know, maybe something changed in the code. That's before I fixed up the bevel angling thing. Okay. Still got my settings. Yeah, but as soon as I change the pitch radius, everything goes a little wonky. Okay, so straight up, that looks like it's just because of the way that I'm doing that scratchy squishy thing, which currently does not exist. Okay, so if both circles are the same size, then that should make it basically just become squished without changing its location. No, because okay, yeah, so it should just move out but look exactly the same. Damn it. Yeah, when the UI breaks, it just straight up breaks. I got no UI at all. Or any of the things in the program. None of them pop up that little window. Oh, it's gonna go out today. It's so cold though. I'm going later tonight. A couple of hours. Everything should be open. Okay. No, I really do not understand what's going on here. It shouldn't be messed with anywhere else. It's just the code here. And this is just the same thing twice. I just got that going on a second time, but this is just offsetting around so everything's in the same location. Okay. So okay. Negative self-pitch radius. I remember just randomly doing this until it worked, though. So random negative self-pitch radius. So again, that'd be putting it there. Minus self-addendum. I assume that'd be putting it there. 0. Minus this thing times details. So that would be the maximum amount of that, which would be the last place this thing ended up. Which would be, according to this, down there sort of a thing, but on the other side, so it's rotating it down to that. Yeah, so this is just literally the last thing there. Instead of I, it's whatever the final number of I would be. Although that does say +1. I mean, that shouldn't be breaking anything. Should it? Why is that a +1? Well, it's a +1, so no, but then this should be a... I mean, I very much doubt that is my problem, but let's give it a go anyway. Oh. Hold on. No. Alright, whatever. Yeah. So that would have been rotating it down to there. Whatever. Rotating it down to there. But this is a 2 thing. Rotates up 1 and across, like across 1 and up the other. I think it was that way around. It should be, whatever. Why is it negative? It has to be that. That's the only thing I could think of. Is this is supposed to actually be the other number. Where am I at? What am I doing? But then why doesn't that get messed with? Whatever. So that's supposed to be that. So that's basically the other circle, it's doing that thing's rotation, and it's jumping over here and doing this one's rotation. So yeah, by doing that, we're rotating around the origin, we don't have to offset jump, which we're basically doing, then it's whatever. That would be rotating around that way. And the addendum's going to be the same, blah blah blah. And then this one is, because we're plussing the whole thing, one of these has to be that. Is it because we also need to plus this? Times 2? Okay, so currently it's over here in the other one. So yeah, we plus that, would put it back to here. Then we plus, no, it'd be over here. Plus that would be putting it over to here. And then plussing the pitch radius would be putting it back there. And then plus, the addendum. And then plus the pitch radius again would be putting it over here. And then plus the addendum again would be putting it over here. And that, plussing that thing would be making it negative. So originally it was that. So really we have this plus brackets just straight up not needed anymore, I think. Negative that minus this. Yeah. So yeah, we have that plus this thing plus addendum. Which is basically clearing out that. Then plus self pitch radius and then plus addendum again. And then the other axis is just that thing, and then we do the rotation. So perhaps that fixes it? And then that is this. Even though both of those numbers are the same, so this shouldn't have changed absolutely. It's doing the two addendum things. And did I break it? Yep. So that's just straight up not right now, though. Because why? I'm assuming I don't need the second addendum. That didn't seem to change anything. PR2 being there shouldn't matter. Is it because this bracket's actually more important than it seems? Okay, it's because it's not actually updating. What else have I changed? Okay. That should be irrelevant. Okay. That should be irrelevant. Okay. I don't think it's because I moved that over. Nope. And switch this out with PR2 shouldn't change anything. Yeah. It doesn't have any addendums. So is that any addendum? Sure, whatever. Trying to think of how I used to have this happening. I think I used to do it and then invert it and then add extra. That order has been dispatched. Very late for dispatching that order. Ordered a new bed frame because my bed frame basically just broke in every possible place. So I was basically just laying on the floor. So I took it down, bought a new one from IKEA, except the one from IKEA isn't the whole damn bed frame. Half the bed is sold separately. The bed frame. But the bed frame in two different parts. Buy the other half of it. Terrible sleep last night. Another person joined if you're a real person. Feel free to ask questions if you've got what's going on. Or better yet, if you can help me. Let me know if you figure out what's going on. Okay, so the way that this use... No, it's the same. Right. So I want to rotate the other one first. You go out to the thing, out to the addendum. We're just pretending it's over there. Then we rotate it. And then, yeah. We want to put it over here, so we need to undo what we did. And then add on this side. That's what I just... No? What? How's that not right? No, yes, okay. Rather than doing that... No, I feel like there was an inverting thing somewhere. Because one's on one side, one's on the other side. So if I got that, did its rotation, and then inverted it, minus its thing, and then added the other. Okay. So if I invert that, and then minus its thing, and then I plus on that thing, it should give me the exact same result now, but maybe it works better? No. Huh. Weird. Okay, yeah, what? So, why is this breaking me? So, sell the thingy for the other... Copy that back out again. We've got two circles. We want it to move around this one, and then move around that one. So move around this one wherever it's at, move around that one. Fairly certain that's how it goes. Unless it's around this one, then around that one. I don't know, whatever. I don't think it actually should matter, but you never know. Ideally, it's moving around both of them at the same time. So, we have the size of this thing. Let's pretend they're two different sizes. Alright, so I'd have something like that. Okay, so we want to do the rotation around that one. So what I'm doing is I do minus this, so rather than moving it over to here, we're just pretending that this is already here. We're just minusing across there, we're rotating it around. So minusing that, minus the addendum. So yeah, that'd be minusing to that, and then minusing to there, that's where we start. Then we're rotating it around by this, and by that amount, so yeah, minus is down, but whatever. So that should be rotating it so it's there. And then we want to rotate it the extra amount, so we're going from that intersection to this intersection. Alright, that rotates it around to there, plus however many segments we're cutting into this thing. Okay, now we minus that thing's location X. So we're basically flipping it to the other side, except it's here, so we're flipping it over to there. So just trying to give it a different pivot point. And then we minus its addendum. So yeah, now it's over here. We minus its addendum, which would be putting it somewhere over here. Pitch radius. Because that was its pitch radius, so from there to there. So if it's down here somewhere rather, it's now over there. Whatever. And then we plus self whatever, so then we wanted to jump across to where it would be on the other. Why? Ugh, God, what? No, what? I just wanted to rotate around this point, then rotate around that point. Why is this so complicated? If that's where relative 0 is, how would I make relative 0 over here? Or if I had it over here, how do I... The same thing, how do I? I would just minus that distance. Yeah, but I want it to rotate... But it's so it... So if it... So we could just assume it's over there to begin with if we're rotating... Yeah, sure, whatever. So then how would we move it to be over here? Keeping that point the same. We would simply minus. No. Plus plus. No. Because that's there, which is basically relative here. So I need to move the point from here to there. Or, you know, from here to there. So all I should need to do is... Yes. I just need to plus this radius, then plus that radius. And we don't do that negative thing. So we plus this radius, and then we plus that radius. Fairly certain that's how I had it at the beginning. Okay. So now that should be in the right position relative. Yeah, so we're just moving this circle, but. Okay, and then we wanted to rotate, you know, that's the pivot point, rotate around that. What? Okay, so sure, why not? We do the same thing. So we want it to be in, well, that location, which it wasn't quite in that location because it's only half the rotation. I don't know, something like that. So we do that plus the extra bit here. So yeah, rotates it a bit around this one, rotates it a bit around that one. So, but none of this has been correct, so then we need to offset it by R, which is where the final location the other one was. And then again by a half of circular pitch. And then we want to minus the backslash to give it at the final vertice location. And then invert it, because it's all upside down. Wait, is it? Is that the problem? Because if this is all minus and that one was also all minus, then this should actually be in the correct location. Okay, let's disable everything else. Damn it, always do that. Okay, so I just want the bottom and the top. Okay, that's my curve. So let's also set that thing so it's not an int. I don't think a minimum of that would work very well. Let's just not worry about that. I'm sure that'll throw an error of some sort. Okay. So... God, I hate it when I'm right. Right about too many things. Never the good things. Well, the way view perspective. What am I doing? Okay, so I want to get rid of this thing, I want to get rid of that thing. Let's get rid of it over here as well. Let's get rid of that. Now it should just be the top and bottom profile, doing however the heck they do their thing. Okay, perfect. That's what I was trying to create yesterday. Oh wow, it's been ages. It's all work at things. Because I think I was asking on the help thing about what the heck that curve is. That one. I hope these things save. Huh, That sucks. Well, anyway, there was a guy that was talking about a function that could be what that thing is. I got it pretty close, but not quite. What is it called again? Add a thing here. What? Yeah. Something here I can just negative. Oh no, I was just using a mirror thing. Anyway. But that's a heck of a lot like the curve that I'm trying to create. And unfortunately, it's just like the curve. Yeah, that thing. This thing is, you know, that part is clearly not right there. This has got more of an arch to it. And as far as I know, we couldn't figure out how that worked. But yeah, this is how it lines up on the so the dot to dot sort of one. That's my curve, and then that's that one. So it's pretty close, but unfortunately, I need exact. Otherwise, it don't work. So yeah, man, that's cool. Yep, close enough's not close enough. Alright, sure. So that's what that's supposed to be like in its current position. That's what it would be like if this thing was just two of these. I don't really know how to check to see if that's correct, because it doesn't line up with the intersections. Whatever. And then... Okay. What happens if I set this to be 0.5? Okay, so what happened there? That part is exactly the same for some reason. And the other part's inside out. Alright, so yeah. The things that matter here are where the intersection points are. So the intersection points are clearly different. Which means I should have a different curve. It needs to curve more to reach those points. More divided things into, or the same amount of divided things into a longer length. However the heck that would go. So it should, yeah, arch up more. So yeah, the bottom part didn't change at all. And the top part's inside out now. What does that mean? Perhaps it's the bottom part that's wrong? I mean, if I'm doing this extra rotation here... No. Because basically, I'm starting the point at the same location in both of these. Let me put the PR2 thing on it. Okay, so that's why that was the same. Okay. Interesting. It is matching up. Although it would definitely go between those 2 points. Okay. Fucking cat. It's on the floor and there's still damn fleas. I got a vacuum. It's gonna be running around on the floor. That's. Let me just really quickly vacuum the house. I wonder where the heck the source is for these damn fleas. Because it's been too long now. It's been months. Pretty much cleaning the house every single day. Usually only takes about 2 weeks. What was it doing? Okay. Now what's up to? Yes, that should be still going to the other side. The addendum size is no difference. Could it be something wrong in here? Hang on. That doesn't seem to be counting for P1, P2. That is P2. P2. Yeah, I believe all of these ones should be PR2. What? Oh yeah. Interesting. don't think that helped. Wait. Why addendum? Yeah, so this should be the intersection location of the circles. So this one's location is 0, 0, and then its self-pitch radius, so that would be that circle. And then this one is self-pitch radius plus pitch radius 2. And then, yeah, so pitch radius 2, so that's the center. And then PR2 plus addendum would be that circle, okay. And then the next one is, yeah, that plus that, so that would be this circle. And then this one should also be addendum, yeah. So it's that intersection, that intersection. And we're only caring about one lot of them, so, because there's 2. Uh-huh. Don't really need that log anymore. Then we got the segment, so cutting that up and then cutting this up into equal amounts. So this is dividing up the circle, I guess? I think I'm getting the rotation to that and then just dividing that up. Why is it a complete try? What? Why am I not just dividing that by the amount of things? I am very confused. And I think my cat just ate wet food and then just started eating dry food. This means she's about to throw up. Too late now. So yeah, PR2 plus addendum for that location. These are locations, not distances? That's a 1. Okay, hang on. So what's happening here? Maybe I'll need more. So, self, whatever, to addendum. Wait, yeah, 2 to addendum. So that is that distance. And then that would be that height? And pitch radius. Okay, I'm very confused here. Pitch radius plus self, pitch radius 2 would be all the way out here. Okay, I'm assuming maybe that wasn't supposed to be that. That was definitely a 1 though, why I replaced it. Right? Yep. There's a 1. Implying PR2. The bottom of the top. Oh god, what am I doing? I mean, all this is it should just be this angle. So whatever that is, and then divide it up to pieces. Whatever that is, divided up to pieces. I don't understand why is it literally, because it's not. Why am I not literally just doing that? Okay, so that radius plus the addendum would be that distance. I can only assume it's from that one. Oh wait, plus the addendum would be that distance. Okay, so A is that, B B is that, and C is self plus that one minus that 0. So from there to there to there, pitch radius plus pitch radius 2 would be over to here. Then minus that distance would just be this distance. What does this do? Which would give me C. And then I want angle B, which would be that angle. But that's not what that distance is. I mean, this looks literally what I'm... What is this doing? How? Why? It doesn't make sense. How did I create this monstrosity? And how does it seem to work? Let's just completely ignore all of that and just try again. I know what it should be doing, I just have no clue why I'm doing it in that crazy way. Yeah, so I should just have to get rope. There you go. That should do the exact same thing. God knows why I did it in that sort of weird way. What did I break? It's inverted. It could just be 90 degrees off. Ah, there we go. Okay, perfect. So whatever the heck that thing was pretending to do, that's what that does. So now it goes all the way to the other side. Interesting the way that it curves though, but whatever. You do know that's just wrong. It's going the correct amount of distance now though. Wait. No, it's not. We're missing a whole lot of points. Why are we missing a whole lot of points? Okay, what the heck should the curve be that I should be getting here? What am I doing? How many points do I have? And yes, it's going down, so let's go down. Is it going down? Oh, it should be going up. I mean, that one's whatever. Okay. Really, at 5, I should be here. Why does that not look right? And that should be the exact right location. I guess because that's not quite right. Okay, sure, whatever. Basically there. And then at 10. You're there. Video. Okay. Maybe it is backwards. Oh no, this is the same sort of thing it's showing me. A. But it's wrong. Okay. Very confusing. I could just sort of see by looking at it that it's creating the right curve. I am so confused. So which one was the new one? That one, okay. I mean... What? I did... But how... I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the first one of that one, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that hit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's supposed to be there. I mean, I do have a point that's on that line, but what? It should be the sixth one or the fifth one, depending on if that's 0 or 1. To do an extra thing. So why is it? But it's. This isn't right. I don't understand. How is this not right yet correct? This is the curve is all wrong. Oh, you flip this top half around, you have the profile of the gear. You flip this top part around and you have nothing. The only thing I can think here is the circles are the wrong way around? This is supposed to be the small one and that's the big one? And maybe that makes it all work? Oh, damn it! Okay. Oh, I thought I just broke everything. It doesn't like undoing. Okay, so let's try this again. Except the other way around. Okay. You copy that one's rotation, which is really funny because they're both just copying each other's rotation now. You don't do that. Clear keyframes. Okay. That one's the one that needs the line, that's all wrong. What? Okay. Mm-hmm. Now that looks better. Okay. Think. I mean, it is really far up. But yeah, that would have a proper look and profile to it compared to that thing. That thing. So, okay, everything's just backwards. Okay. How do I flip that around? Really? I mean, I guess. I do not remember this ever being a thing I ever had to consider. It just worked. But whatever. Okay, so apparently everything that's now pitch radius is actually pitch radius too. That's a very annoying thing. So how about let's do that. Goes there. And this goes here. That goes there. And this goes here. I feel like that will problem. I didn't. Did I? I changed everything. It's pointless. Okay, yeah, so I just want to do that. It's just the descriptions I want to switch around. Well, I mean, I want to switch the name too, but that doesn't work. Whatever, let's just keep it like that. Okay, so now pitch radius 2 is a 0.5. And that is a 1. Everything just works. It didn't change anything. What the heck? Really? I am very confused. But that would... I mean, that's... No, because it... But if it... I don't know, what the heck? Why? Why could I make this thing and now I have to make the whole damn thing again? It was working, it was perfect, I just needed to get fills working. So I was really avoiding trying to do this and I've been doing literally anything else in the meantime. It was done, it was working. It's just really bad code. What a print stuff, I hate this. Said I knew this was going to happen. Buy the printer, I spent a couple of weeks calibrating it, getting it all working, and then it sits there for over half a year while I get everything else ready for it. There's no other option. I couldn't even start until I have something to test with. Just sitting there, it's going to need repairs by the time I need to use the damn thing again. Want to get a gear to work. So, why? What the heck? Okay, so, but if it... So the gear that is the gear that I want is the one that's. So this is. But then if it. So. Is it just. If I switch the rotation. So that's all back to how it was before. What if I just do the rotations in the other order? A little more complicated than that. Why does this one require a rotation? Whatever. Well, I'm not using R at the moment, so let's just use that one. Oops. So self, blah 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 blah. So how do I flip these? Because I have that thing going on. Alright, whatever. So yeah, rather than this being that, this is radius. And this is not minus, it's plus. Okay, so we go over the radius, in this case. No, because it is... Okay, so we're going over to there. Plus addendum, so all the way to the end of that. No, okay, so that would be the dedendum. Well, that changes everything, but they're both the same thing. So that minus the addendum, so that will put it there. And whatever. So yeah, we get that. So that's now rotated around whichever the heck way it goes. Then we want to do the other one. So this is the same location thing. I think this is minus now. So that was... No, because we want to rotate, but it's the same? So we just did that rotation. Now we want it to be over here, and then for this one to do its rotation. So we want to grab that, we want to minus... Yeah, okay. Although I like it around the other way. So we minus that off, then we minus this thing. So that moves that point there, and then I'll flip over what the heck, it doesn't matter, whatever. So I just want to put the point same place, but on the other side. But if it is the, but that would, so I, but if it, that would just mean I only need to invert that axis, but that wouldn't be if this was in the center. If that was in the center, it would be in the same place. So yeah, I just need to minus it by its radius, minus it by this thing's radius. And there we go. Oh wow, okay, that was a little unexpected. I want to use an autosave now. If Windows hasn't deleted them. I assume the add-on is probably not enabled. I mean, I'd probably just enable it and press the button, but whatever. Ah, that's probably why I crashed. Oh, I don't have the thing in this one. But also that's very wrong. Okay. Why? It's no. No. I'm not using R. This has nothing to do with anything because that's calculated off the other one. So that needs to be switched around. Yeah, so pitch radius becomes that, that's the same. That one becomes the other one. So... what? Hang on. Yeah, so PR2 becomes pitch radius. And then that's got both of them, so it doesn't matter. That one's that one's that, it's got both, it doesn't matter. And this becomes this. No. It's off by 90 degrees. It's not inverted now? No. Don't make me make this whole damn thing again. That's so close. I don't understand. I don't want to make it again. I didn't want to make it this time. It's gonna take another month. Why? Why is it so close yet so far? It works perfectly until I change a variable. Just that one particular variable. The first half works fine, the second half doesn't work at all. The first half's not taking things into account, but works as if it was. The second half works as if it isn't, but it is. Really gotta make me reprogram this entire damn thing. No, but I don't remember this ever being a thing. Did I have some sort of a thing that switched around whichever one was the biggest or smallest? I mean, that was just the default size, it never changed from 1. So it was just that one that got bigger and smaller. So... undo everything? Back to where? Okay. And rather than doing that, you always stay at 1, you become 2. This should be literally the same thing, except it's not going to look right. No. Not at all. That's because that's the problem I'm trying to solve, damn it. Which is saying what? What is this implying? That everything's just a lie, nothing works, it's not right, I don't get it. Maybe look at the original one. The point of this is so I didn't have to reverse engineer the original one. But this was never a problem. I don't understand. Whatever. How the heck did I do this originally? Where do I even look for this information? That's it. That's how I did the first one. Oh, loud sounds. Yeah, one's annoying too. I don't understand. So it seems like I've done it the same way? Addendums. Oh, yeah. No, so that's exactly the same. I don't understand. How? I don't. It doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? I don't seem to have done anything different for it to work. It just worked. Why? I don't... That's what it created. I don't see any way that I've messed up that. That is the curve. But that can't be the curve. That doesn't work. Why? I don't, what? There's nothing wrong. How is there something wrong? Does that create a different angle? It should be the same exact thing mirrored. Okay. I have no clue what I'm saying. I should be saying that here. Okay. Yep. Maybe that's actually somehow correct. Is that somehow a possibility? No. What should I be looking at here? I mean, I can see in my head what I should be looking at from the one that I created before, but that's not what this thing is showing, and I can't imagine any possible. Like, it doesn't make sense. There is no answer. There's no problem. Why? I don't get it. I hate when programming does this. When everything just works, you know. Miss those days so much. And it got so damn complicated. Sure, did I have it? No, this is something else. Oh. Where was it? Where did this thing come from? Is it... It was a... Why just... That one? Okay. Where is button? Hey, there we are. Okay. So that's what I was currently getting. And then if I simply double the pitch radius... Oh. Nothing? Okay, very, very confused. Okay. Is this an old version? This seems to be the same one I was using. Okay. What do I do? Was this a thing that simply never existed? It was definitely around at one point. I made a heap of gears, I exported them across. Okay, let's just look at the ones I created before. Did just literally nothing ever work from the very beginning and it just pretended the entire time? Wouldn't be the first time. Accidental coincidences. What am I doing? So it should have created this. Basically the same thing. In fact, it should be near literally the same thing. Yeah. That's what I should have. Why does it look absolutely nothing like that whatsoever in any conceivable way? What's the secret here?
PLNRND. Did you check the system console for errors?
The error's in my code somehow. It's like, this curve here is, well, the smaller one. That should be this curve. So, that curve is this curve. Like, you just, whatever button it is, there you go, that. Oh. That's the curve. So it goes up and then across. That was rotated to wherever the heck it would be. That should be the same curve as I have here. And then this curve is what this one should be somehow, this thing. Which is, there's no possible way that that could be this. I don't understand why it is showing me that. There's no possible way those things could be the same. I don't understand. That's breaking me. It's just wrong. But how could I make it not wrong? Everything is happening exactly this way it should. I don't understand.
PLNRND. Rotation issue.
No, because I literally created it manually and it comes up with the same thing. So, how did I ever get it to work in the first place? Because, you know, like the way you create it, which this one should still be set up to the old rotation? Not really. Yeah, you got two circles that rotate. Yeah. So I got this circle here, and then this circle there, and they both got the same, like this one's copying off that one's rotation. Oh! Oh! It's going too fast! If it's half the size, it's half the speed. That was the... oh my god. Obviously. What the heck is that? What are all the changes I made? I tried flipping that around. Okay, so that should be, I think, where everything went wrong. I've already undone everything. So... this thing? Okay, how do I get that? No. Count. So, yeah, because that is just straight up copying the rotation of this thing, and this is the path that's traced. So from the end of that thing, rotating around, where it draws is where the points are. But that should be going at half the speed. because it's half half the size. So that would be tracing the correct path, I think. That works, right? That's the tracing it down didn't make a difference. Blender. So that goes to there. Station. It goes all the way up to out there. Okay. Go again. Oh. That's a very drastically different result. No, that's not right. It's the other way around. It should be going twice the speed. Oh, I undid. That caused many problems. Deleted the other half of that.
PLNRND. Are you setting rotation in a modal or through drivers?
It's all programmed, but this is just using the constraint thingy. Yeah, so I need to go twice as fast because it's twice as big, but you can't have things go twice as fast with constraints because I don't know why. They just decided why not. I'm just going to assume that works. So yeah, I need the smaller one to go twice as big as the twice as fast as the bigger one. What the heck's the math for that? Basic gear stuff. So, or is it? So which one is? I need the no. So yeah, this would be going at 1 speed. This one's half the size, so 1 times the size, and 1 times that size, I think, is all I need to do. No, divided by. Yeah. So 1 divided by its size, and that goes on to the rotation thing, which is this thing. That's how much of a... Okay. But if it... So that's how much it needs to rotate. Yes. So for I guess so. I just say this thing. Hang on, how does math work again? Calculator. 1 times 0.5 equals 0.5, yeah. So 1 divided by 0.5 equals 2, yes. So I want that thing divided by its size. And this thing is, well, it's just that. Okay. So that goes there. That was the same thing, yes. And this is the other one. So that's pitch radius. And that's this thing. And now... which one did I change? I changed the top. That gives me that. Okay, it's still not quite right. That's very wrong. Where am I? What's happening? What are my sizes? Pitch radius is 1, PR2 is 0.5. This thing also needs the same thing to happen. That thing divided by this thing. That's just not on that one. And this one by that one. What? It made it further out. because the rotation is... But if it... That's so that... God, no, what? Okay, so... I need this to change, but if it changes, I need... I don't know. Let's ignore the changing part, I guess. PR2 never changes, it's just always a 1. So let's just set it to always be a 1. You are a 1, you are a 2. So that should just look absolutely terrible. Yep. That's a little bit more terrible than it should ever be. Well, yeah, it's because it's, oh. Whatever. Nope. Where'd you go? Okay. So it should be something like this now. Okay. Yep. That's very wrong. Whatever.
PLNRND. Is this going to be more than a gear generator?
Yeah, so, it's... well, yeah, it could be, but I'm probably not going to, not again. Not anytime soon, anyway. The whole point is 3D printing stuff, so I was making a whole lot of these things, so this is the old version of it, because it was like 99% working. All I needed to do was have it so it infilled the top and the bottom, which that's one of the worst infills. I had to do all these things manually, which took forever. Do I have a good one with the good one? Whatever. Yeah, so I got this nice, like, basic sort of thing going on here. It's not perfect, you can see it's a bit of highlighting not right there, it's a bit indented in the middle, and then there's something going on up there. Anyway, yeah, so I just want to press a button and have this be created. So yeah, currently all it does is just the outer profile stuff, so, you know, all of that. And nothing else.
PLNRND. Have you printed them yet?
Yep. Works almost perfectly. For weird reasons I can't quite figure out, certain stuff happens and certain stuff doesn't happen when I would expect it to. But yeah, so this was for a test using, to make something like this. So you could rotate this thing, except I've got to print it.
PLNRND. PLA.
No, it's a resin one. I got a resin printer for it. So, yeah, this is just for the, what do you call these things again? A differential gearbox thing. So I could turn that around while, like, that's an output, and this is the input. So when you turn this box thingy rotates around in whatever axis. You may have seen these with Legos or cars. You know, cars in general, this is how they work. So yeah, that turns this, which turns that, which is attached to this thingy, which rotates it around like, wow, that's laggy. I have no clue what's going on there. Okay. Yeah, and that will be rotating these things equally. But if I grab onto one to stop it rotating, the other one will rotate twice as fast, because that's just how that works, which is really awesome. So yeah, I printed that to give it a try, but I made a few mistakes. First thing, the tolerance was a little too tight here, because this thing's just tiny. Scales over here, so 10 millimeters wide for that. You know, these gears are only 2 millimeters high, very, very tiny. But I printed these, so all of these, and they fit up on top of that thing, and different methods for doing these pins. The square ones, the X1 plus 1, whichever one you want to call it, it seemed to work really, really well. Which is a bit annoying, because I wanted it to fit both a circle pin and one of these ones, so I could just have the same hole for everything. But you just don't really have quite enough room. You can see the topology on these things is, well, it's just n-gons, really. It's really bad. So yeah. But yeah, this is the next test thing I'm trying to print, which I have animated. Got this locking thing that happens down there, then that goes across once it's unlocked, this differentially thing, and then it goes click, and then everything turns in the opposite direction and resets itself. Basically the point is this turns in one direction constantly, and this one is your output, which toggles direction, and it does so dependent on gravity and stuff. These would be springs, although I have everything backwards in this animation, which is a little annoying, so I've got to redo all that again. This is the thing that I'm wanting to print. It's just a block out of it, really. It's mechanical tic-tac-toe, so these are your buttons to play tic-tac-toe, you know the game.
PLNRND. Cool lock idea.
Yeah, I feel like I've overcomplicated somehow, but, you know, it needs the locking thing to stop it from sliding, you know, you need it to go, like, one way's got 2 gears, the other way's got 1 gear, so you got to invert direction. You need a gear to toggle between the 2 states, you need something to do the toggling, you need something to stop the toggle from untoggling itself. So, yeah, I want to redesign it so it's flat, less layers and stuff, make a longer one. But yeah, whatever. But yeah, tic-tac-toe. So you take turns pushing buttons down, and that rotates like that to display whose turn went. It has a thing that will mean when the next person pushes one down, it will rotate the other direction, but mechanically it's the same as pulling it upwards. So yeah, you go down for one direction, up for the other direction.
PLNRND. I mean a lock with a differential gear system to defeat lock picking.
Well, I mean, it's not that sort of a lock, but yeah. It's this little component on the side. This is what the earlier ones looked like. It had these like sliding backwards and forwards things which were the locks, but that didn't work for various reasons. I didn't realize at the time. But anyway, so yeah, basically you take turns pushing a button down, you push it down, it's blue, next one's red, you know, you'd have pictures on the side if you wanted X or O's or whatever the heck you want. It will be able to tell, like, this massive chunk in the middle is the state checker, so it can tell if there's 3 in a row or if all buttons are being pushed. And then basically, these are sort of the output rod things. So one of these will turn if player 1 wins, the other one if player 2 wins, and this one if no players won. It'll have a scorekeeping thing, which will be attached to that, but I haven't done that part yet. This toggling system is for resetting it, so it's got a heck of a lot of differentially gear thingies down here. They look like that. Just an older design I just slapped together. It's just a block out. But yeah, so there's like 18 of them, I think. So underneath there'll just be a big spring, which powers the whole thing. Yeah, you need a whole lot of those, because when you push down a button and it locks into position, it jams up all the gears, so you need a way to still release power. Yeah.
PLNRND. I know, but in general the idea is interesting since it could add extra states to the lock. Interesting tic-tac-toe idea. Seems like it'll take a year to print though.
Oh well, I've already been working on it for a couple of years. Just on and off. Yeah, I've got all the big problems sorted out now. So yeah, the way you reset it is you just literally turn it all backwards, because when you push down a button, it locks into position. And to unlock it, you just spin everything backwards. So I needed this thing to be able to, you know, spin it all backwards without having a secondary spring or something that toggles the direction, you know? I could use gravity or pendulum sort of things and all that sort of junk, but I wanted it to work even if the box was sideways, you know? You rely on gravity-based stuff, that doesn't work, which means I have to rely on springs for the thing, or whatever. So yeah, the springs that I have are just pen springs. So, you know, clicky pens have a spring in it. That's how big a pen spring would be, pretty much, in relative size. But yeah, the stuff I printed... I really got to collect these pictures up somewhere. Yeah. So I printed that. The gears work flawlessly, even though they weren't perfect. There's a few problems which this new version's supposed to be fixing. But like, if you turned this middle gear, you wouldn't even know anything else was attached to it. It's just perfectly smooth. Just amazing. Very surprised how well it works. And you can sort of see like the tolerance there. Like you could hardly see where one gear like separates from another one because it's like so perfectly fits together. It actually should probably have a little bit more of a tolerance to it. But yeah, it's got basically no wiggle. Like if I hold one gear still at one end and try to force the other one to rotate, like it barely moves at all. Yeah, that's a backslash angle thing. It's a thing I can adjust. That one didn't actually print with the hole in it, so I had to dig out that hole with just a little sharp knife. Yeah, you can see how tiny it is, so... Yeah, that's 2 millimeters high, and then there's 2 gears here, so 4 millimeters high, and then it's got that pin.
PLNRND. Cool.
Yeah. So, like, that pin is 1.8 millimeters wide, which is unbelievably tiny, and it's 100% accurate, you know? Well, I say the printer's accurate within 0.2 millimeters. But the printing resolution is... I can calibrate it more. I should be able to get it down to 0.1. So if I just have a whole lot of parts together, I want to have at least 0.1 tolerance so it's not, you know, flat to the edges. It's probably well more than I need. But yeah, the printing resolution XY is 0.035, I think it is. Which is crazy detailed. So like, it looks like it's just a square peg coming out. But no, you get all of this detail in here. It's just the camera quality sucks. I got a better camera thingy and a whole setup so I can be doing stuff and show it while streaming, but I just gotta do more stuff. Yeah, so that's more stuff I printed out for calibrating it, so you can see how just tiny it is. And yeah. This was the smallest thing I could print on my old, like this is made out of ABS, the, whatever you call it, the fused, whatever, you know, the hot glue gun type ones. So, you know, it's a comparison of size. It wasn't calibrated right, so everything's sort of just jammed together in this thing. The screws didn't really want to fit. Really destroyed my fingers putting these together.
3D printing a car.
Yeah. No, it's just a... It's a planetary gearbox thing. It's just a simple model that's pretty cool to print out. Stress testing it in a way, so I'm always just playing with the handle, turning it around, seeing what wears. Yeah. Out of the gears that I created here, like, these things work really, really well, but I printed half of them wrong. It's corrected it now. But I had these spinning in the opposite direction, which means they didn't actually fit together, like they didn't mesh. But luckily one of them did, so I got at least a little bit of a test. But yeah, I got a whole lot of problems. It barely scratches in like the inner tolerance. This very center part is a little higher.
PLNRND. I made a planetary gear system using drivers in Blender.
Yep. Yeah, originally I was making a whole program to do mechanical stuff, which is this thing. So this is how that originally worked. Create a cylinder, or a proxy mesh as I call it. Back in the old Blender days. That's good enough. Scale that in so you can see if it rotates. Alright, so that would be like your proxy gear thing. And say you wanted to create a clock. You know, it has a ton of gears in a clock and it's complicated and all that sort of stuff. Well, I got, yeah, auto-generate ratio thing. So a clock, you have, well, ideally in a clock you have, it tick-tocks about 4 times a second. Well, let's just ignore that. So you have seconds. Let's just assume you have a gear that's already spinning around, you know, once a second. And you got 60 seconds in a minute, so it's a 60-to-1 gear ratio. There you go. And just grab an extra one of these. And make a thing over here so you can tell that. There. Yeah, then you'll have, you know, so 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour would be another one of those. And after that, you have 12 hours or 24 hours in a day, but usually clocks go by 12s. Well, no, it's 24. So you would have a 24 to... let's just say 24 ratio. Yeah, 24. Confusing myself. Anyway. Yeah, so that would be that. So you got seconds to minutes, minutes to hours, hours to 24. Then you would just have a 2-to-1 gear reduction for 12 hours. Anyway, so you got all of this now, and you know, well, okay, that just automatically works. Yeah, so I could, yeah, you would. These are just the proxy meshes from the gears. So ideally, as long as this is before inclusion and stuff, this is Blender. As long as the circles touch together, your gears are meshing together. And then everything's just to do with ratio things. So ideally all of your gears are made up of prime numbers. So this would be a 1, that's a 2 by the looks of it, so it's twice as big as that one, so this has to spin twice for that one to spin once. And then that is directly connected to this one on top, so, you know, it's a 2-to-1, 2-to-1, 2-to-3, I guess? I mean, no, so 2-to-1 rotation of that, 2-to-1, and this would be a 3-to-1, and this is a 3-to-5, I think it is. And then you just do the same thing again. Anyway. But yeah, I made the add-on so you can literally just grab any gear and rotate it. And everything else just sort of rotates. But that's just done with the automatic thing. Yeah, whatever. So if I just grab those two, and then I just... I thought there was a manual connection, but whatever. Auto gear connect. Auto gear connect. There you go. So now I can just grab any gear and rotate it. Nope. Oh, because that is also connected to this. There we go. There you go. So any gear could just be rotated. I could even rotate this one around. Everything goes like crazy. So yeah. So if I rotated that around 60 times, you know, that other one would rotate around once. Which... that half? I haven't counted it all, but, you know, if you wanted to. There you go.
PLNRND. Nice.
Yeah. The only problem is, if you try to undo, Blender will crash. But yeah, the next thing I was working on with that thing was a gear generator. And I think that groups things. I don't quite remember how to do it. Select group? Huh? Okay. Let's do that. That's not how I do that.
PLNRND doesn't work in 2.8 plus.
Nope, I'd have to recreate it. But anyway, there's all your gears that would be done with those. It looks like I don't have the heights quite right. But those are just the basic Blender gears before I made my own one. You can't rotate these, you only rotate the other things. But, you know, they're all painted together, so everything would mesh together. You can see. But yeah, the add-on was going to have a whole heck of a lot of other stuff. This is just the basic functionality.
PLNRND. View mesh issues.
Yeah, it's just Blender 2 point whatever the heck this is. Everything changed when they changed the UI stuff and removed the game engine and all that sort of stuff. This is the one with still game engine. Blender game engine. Ages ago. But yeah, so yeah, I can auto-generate gear ratio things for doing stuff like that really easy. It's just a couple button clicks. Generating the gear meshes was the next thing. Yeah, I made all these icons. They're really cool. I forgot how great they look.
PLNRND. Does this use BG?
No, it's just the way they handle meshes and everything's just completely different since then. Massive changes in the code. Anyway, So yeah, auto connecting gears, so I didn't have to do things like I could just select all of these gears if they weren't already connected together, and then push that button, and everything would rotate exactly the same way as it does now. So I can do things like, if you go spacebar, how do I play? Yeah, so it's just all automated going around, and then I could like remove that gear. And I could put it back again. I can line it up right. Yeah. Oh, that's wireframe. Okay. Yeah. So I can move that away and then plug it back together. Move it away and plug it back together. So it's all sort of doing a whole lot of dynamic stuff. If I move it up, so it's no longer meshing, because it's the cylinder parts, not the green parts that it's doing it by. Whatever, it makes it a little bit more confusing. But yeah, they wouldn't mesh together, so they stop turning. That's all the thing. I'm not sure why... Oh, it's jumping because it's reaching the end of the frame thing. Anyway, so you can have things like gears physically moving around, disconnecting and connecting from each other if that was a thing you wanted to animate, and it would just work. But yeah, the other stuff that I had... Something didn't like being done there. Yeah. So you could disconnect the things that are connected together with that. Then yeah, I had these other things. So I wanted to be able to create motors. This one was for belts. CS is just coming soon. So building belts and chains and stuff like that. This is for custom rotations. Like if you wanted things to mesh together like gears, but not quite the same, then that would be used for that. That was for motors. So you could have 3 different types of power sources if you want to think about it like that. So you've got electric ones, which is a constant supply of power to a certain amount of torque. So if it required too much torque to turn, it wouldn't turn. There would be, you know, flywheels and stuff like that. You could create all that. I did have all those working at one point. So if it required too much force to turn, the motor wouldn't work. Or, you know, maybe it slowly builds up speed, you know, whatever. So it's a consistent power supply with a certain amount of torque. Then there was things like a spring. So a spring would be a little less consistent and have a limited power supply, so it would eventually wind down. And then there would be something like steam, which is an inconsistent thing. Sometimes it's faster, sometimes it's slower, you know, it ramps up and down randomly. It's not a consistent output. So you could do stuff like centrifugal modulators or whatever the heck they were called. The things you see in movies and stuff where it's got like 2 balls that are spinning around on a thing. Basically, the faster it spins, those balls sort of, you know, raise up, which acts like a lever thingy, moving a gear up or down or something like that, or opening or closing a valve so you can, you know, have consistent amounts of pressure. Anything steam powered, you'll see that stuff on. Centrifugal governator. That's what it was. Yeah, and then that one's just for pistons. So anything that worked like that. That was going to be the basic thing. I also wanted to add grass and stuff, so you could see how much friction was going to be generated and all that sort of fun stuff. You could also do stuff like planetary gears. Add 3. So if I have that, and I have this. Is that right? Yeah. This won't rotate around like planetary gears should. I did have that all working at one point.
PLNRND. I suggest adding big follows to a banned words.
Oh yeah. Well, it's a different name every time.
List to your channel.
Oh yeah, the banned word things on Twitch. I forgot about those. Where did we do? How do I do that? That's new.
It's always big follows.
Yeah. Where the heck am I looking? I guess that? Yeah, I want to go and sit and get some food in a minute. Open request. I don't know. I'm out of it now. I've been rambling for too long. Lockdown thing. Yeah. I guess the link is always going to be the same, otherwise it wouldn't work if people wanted to maybe use that for some reason. But it's always some random name, and they sometimes mess around with all the other ones, spaces, all that sort of junk. Wait, it's probably how I've done it in my chat thing, because it just said blocked, a block spam or something on my own thing.
Right.
Yeah. Huh. Anyway, yeah. I did have it at one point sort of work with planetary gears. More so than it is currently. But yeah, I did there was a project I was doing where I was trying to make a watch. And it was based on a planetary gear design. So, you know, if instead of having a central column of stuff with the hands of your watch attached to it, so the gears like coming in and out of that, it had a planetary gear thing going around the outside. So, you know, this would be like the second hand going around here, you know? But it also was layered, so you would have like a disc like this, and it would be doing the seconds, and then you would have another disc of gears on top of it doing the minutes, and then another one on top of that doing the hours, and you know, you'd have one underneath doing something or rather else, maybe one for the spring, one for winding stuff. So it was a modular sort of style watch like that. Everything was on its own stack, which you could, you know, easily switch out, replace or fix or whatever. Yeah, I thought that would just be a really cool design. So yeah, there would just basically be a little arm thing that goes up, across, and you know, or maybe a little turny gear that, like, I don't know. But it turns out it might be a little mathematically impossible, or well more complicated, because planetary gear designs is fancy. I don't know if you've ever tried to create one that was a little bit more complicated than just this. Like one that has multiple layers of stuff. So if this gear was 2 gears. So basically, like, with planetary gears, the diameter of the gears on the inside are never more than the diameter of the outside gear. But if you can use gear ratio things to make it as if it was bigger, and it gets really complicated. I did eventually make some sort of a thing to approximate what the output was going to be, so I could create a gear ratio, and then, you know, just run this piece of code which just loops itself over and over again.
I see.
Yeah, it basically like ran to see what the output would be, and then it would use that output as the input to like incrementally refine, like each time would be adding an extra decimal place to the calculation. So yeah, with prime number gears and stuff, you know, it's a 2-to-1 ratio, easy. But with planetary gears, you can have decimal points, which, you know, approximate things. Anyway, but I don't know how to reverse that, so I don't know how to make it so I want something with a, you know, a 1-to-60 gear ratio. Give me that. Yeah, because the problem is when it's this whole rotating design, so basically the rotating of the drum below would be rotating, like basically it would be made out of 2 halves. So the bit on the bottom was your input, and that would be rotating the output one on the top, and that would just be directly attached to the input of the next one. But the whole thing rotates around on the inside. So 60 is a nice number, because it can be divided into a whole lot of things. 61 is a prime number. It can't be divided. So, because the whole barrel rotated, it would be rotating, like, the hand would rotate 61 times instead of 60 times, because, you know, the whole barrel rotates once for a full rotation as well. Anyway, that was my problem with it, which is why it could be mathematically impossible, perhaps. I'm sure there's a way to get it approximately down, but yeah, and then trying to figure out what the gear, like, teeth ratios are that would divide into that thing, and it's, yeah. I ended up moving on to this, the other thing I was showing this thing instead, because this thing's much more simple, you know? I don't even have to worry about gear ratios with this, other than with the button. Yeah, when it moves down, I just need to know, you know, how much to move it down, so this thing rotates around by 1/3, and this thing drops, you know, to be between that one or that one. Anyway, fun times. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to be remaking this add-on. It was one of those things that every year I'll do again and again and again. I don't know how many versions of this I have. I hated working with Blender because, you know, if I undid after doing something with this, I'm surprised. No, there it goes. So if I undo, it crashes, and when it crashes, you lose everything, because I don't know how to save any information to Blender itself, so you would have to recombine all of your gears together and rebuild the gear train things, and, you know, the way it works, sometimes it was a bit messy trying to do that. You couldn't just select everything and connect it together, because you might have two gears that are on top of each other, but for different gear trains, and it would think they are actually connected when they're not. And that would mess up with whatever you're creating. I don't know. So it would just be a huge hassle. Yeah. It was supposed to do a heap of other things. I said graphs and friction, like momentum, all that sort of stuff. It's going to take into account that I did have working at different points in development.
PLNRND. I mean, you're using 2.81.
Yeah. Yeah, I had versions of it that run in the web browser as well that aren't 3D. So that was another whole thing I did multiple times. I have like 4 or 5 versions of that, and then, you know, 4 or 5 versions of the stuff working in Blender. But yeah. Each one of them taking months of time. I have a lot of free time. Years keep passing. Anyway.
PLNRND. I think they fixed undo stuff in 2.83,
No.
I think.
There was something I had to do within the program to add it to the undo redo sort of menu thing. Because some of the functions I created simply couldn't be undone and redone, you know? So I had to code everything in certain ways that I just simply don't know how to do. Because it was all using drivers for that.
PLNRND. The dev extra?
I wouldn't have a clue. It was years ago I last messed with that thing. But,
Legacy undo.
I don't know. But it was doing something or rather where, like, because I could rotate any gear at any time and all the rest of them would rotate. So basically there was like this update thing. So whenever you do certain actions in Blender, it would update things, and I would have to have that, like, hook into the thing. So when I did a rotation, that rotate update would then update the rotation of all the rest of the gears, but sometimes it didn't quite do it in the right order, and it would update before or after the gear that it was supposed to be updating to, and I don't know, all sorts of junk like that. I think that was what was breaking the undo redo thing, because it didn't really have a defined. Maybe it was a glitch, I don't know. But I did other stuff, like I made a video editing thing one time, so because I was trying to make tutorials and junk originally.
PLNRND. You would need to do it in a modal.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a clue. I don't care. It's long in the past. I'm not going to be going back to it anytime soon. But yeah, I was making a video editing program because I was trying to create tutorials and stuff. Well, I had to be frame-based because of weird things. You can't just have it update all the time, and you can't... Like, it only updates when something changes. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember how I did it. It's a couple thousand lines of code. But yeah, I made a video editing thing, so using Blender, which basically just went through the sound file and cut whenever, like, so it just basically cut out the empty sound. But then you could merge it together if it was merging as a different sentence or merging as a, you know, the next word in a sentence. which made editing videos so much more easier, because when I'd be recording videos, I'd be talking about whatever, and then I'd make a mistake. So whenever I made a mistake with something I said, I would just not say anything for a few seconds, and then repeat what I did as if I,
PLNRND. Interesting.
Yeah, so I just continue off from wherever I was as if I never made that mistake, and just repeat the part that I did. That I made the mistake in, whatever. Anyway, so basically the video editing thing would cut at those points, leaving a bit of space on either side of it of me not talking, and then I could easily find all the places that I made mistakes, because I could just look through just the timeline, seeing all the sliced parts of clips. And then I could just listen to the beginning of this one, the end of that one, you know, what was the mistake I made, and then I could just remove it, like remove that chunk, so the next chunk would be continuing the same thing, and then maybe I'd repeat it like 4 or 5 different times, different ways before I was happy with what I wanted. Anyway, so I could just like cut them all out. And then, you know, if I made the mistake midway through saying something, so like, the apple was green, you know, I could just cut out that audio, so it would just be like, the apple was green, and it would sound like it would just flow perfectly. Otherwise, if it was the end of a sentence, like, and then he said, blah blah blah, whatever, you know, it would have the right amount of pause to it. Anyway, it was really great. I just like, you know, slice this up, select what I wanted, remove it, select the piece, and then press one of the 2 buttons for a sentence or a, you know, continuing thing. And there you go, job done. It turned what took, you know, literally, like, I was making 5-minute tutorials that took me 3 hours to record because I just make that many mistakes in it, and then it would take at least 3 hours to edit out normally, because you've got to listen to the entire thing, find every place you made mistakes, and do the whole thing over and over again. You know, minimum it takes as long as it took to record. But using this thing, it only took about 15 minutes. So, that was great. 15 minutes to edit down a 3-hour thing into 5 minutes in the same quality. But yeah, but it had the same problems. If I tried to undo it, it would crash Blender, and then I would have to redo the entire thing from the very beginning, because I can't save the information. Like all the meta information that was created about where cuts were, how everything combines together, and spacing and junk, you know. Anyway. Our food place is open in the city. Let's just use that. I want to go out and get some food. I didn't expect to be renting for so long. At least I got an idea of how to fix the problem now. I think places, if nowhere's open, I won't worry about it. Continue trying to do stuff. Yeah. Whatever place this. I hate it. Oh wait, is it Sushieta? No, it's the grill thingy. You. Oh, you left. What did you? What? They do menu long. Closes at 9:30. Oh, nice.
PLNRND.
Oh,
if you wanted to store meta info, you'd write to a JSON file, but that's overkill.
Yeah, I mean, that feels like the best way to do it. My chat thingy bugs out. Everything I've coded, I always code myself entirely from scratch without looking how to do it. But that's to do with Twitch's update things. Not actually anything to do with my thing. But yeah. But it's like, I'd have to constantly be saving to a file that's somewhere, which means you have a file to worry about. Like, there should be some way to embed it somehow into the .blend file. But I just never really figured out how to do that. It was all created using like global directories and stuff like that. Or dictionaries, whatever it is. Yeah, my food place is open till late. That's nice. I'll just go do that. Yeah, I have like a routine thing I try to do. I try to be healthy again. Now 2020's over and done with. So I like go to the city, get food at that place, and then just sit by the river. Wow, it looks pretty terrible here at the moment. I usually sit
PLNRND. Good luck.
over here somewhere. Hey, back again. Yeah, I usually sit over here looking over the city. Oh wow! Oh, no, hang on. I thought they updated it. That's a very not updated picture. There's a whole big skyscraper going up about that high now from this little building site. I didn't even realize that one was being built. And now there's a big building that's going to be built over here. And there's a new bridge that's going to basically go from the Ferris wheel over to that new building over there. Babies. Yep. Oh, that's interesting. Baby long legs. Yeah, that's nice. Now it's open at 12. Well, I may as well just mess around for a little bit longer then.
PLNRND. Have a good lunch.
Yeah, I'll mess around with the log. So it's the speed that it's rotating at.
Dinner.
Yep. Dinner. It's nighttime. It's 6:30 in the afternoon. Cold. That's why I sort of... I mean, I should probably go out earlier than later, but regardless of what I do, it's going to be cold when I'm walking back, so... I'll just wear a jacket, jump. And put those on in ages. Oh, it's so nice. It's 32 degrees. It's freezing.
Either way, have a good one.
Yeah. Oh, you got... Oh, if you go on, I may as well go there because you're my early viewer. I think I just need to do the ratio things directly onto here, but that doesn't feel right because both things use this. I don't know. I want it to go twice as fast as the... I just got to work out what the difference is in speed. Yeah, that's what I got to do. I know what I need to do. So I need to get the ratio difference between PR and PR2, and then put that onto the second one. That's the second one. Which is the second one? I guess that's the... But then that's... Wait a second. No. Okay. So that one. This would have to be this. So one of them's 1 and the other one's a 2. So I got a 2 and a 1. Do I just minus them? I've forgotten how to do a ratio junks stuff. So I have this one and I have that one. So that minus this, that doesn't seem right. I don't think it's... Is it a divide? Okay, so if they're both 1, it's a 1, it's all good. And then I would times that. If this is a 2 and that's a 1, then this is a 0.5, which means it's got to spin twice as fast, which means it's a divide. If that was a 0.5, if that was a 1 and that was a 2, then we want it to go half the speed. Yeah. So I just have to do that there. And do that there. No, it's backwards. Because but that's the total amount it needs to rotate, not the amount it's rotating. That's why it's confusing me. And it's the other one that... Oh! Ugh. Yeah, I just gotta manually do this and then figure it all out. I'm trying to do it smartly and predictively decide what things are doing. That's not working. I just need to literally do it exactly as it is and just throw logic out the window because it ain't working. Anywho. I think I'm gonna get some food. It feels so weird having fillings. My teeth don't feel right. We'll just see what enemies are out. It's 11 the next enemy comes out at. Yeah, that ain't happening. Won't be up in 10 hours. Let's boxed up some of the demon lords today. That's 12. Okay. Yeah, well, I'm not gonna be up for 10 more hours. Well, 11 more hours. I'm gonna sleep now. I mean, I'm gonna get some food now. Play games. I've always finished the Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 collection. Just got one more game to go, and about 5 hours, 6, 7 hours left in this game.